All right, how is everyone? Is Jenna on here? No. So we have, okay, so here we are in this group. You guys all bought in. I don't know if you guys know exactly what the pot is, but the $1,420, okay? And so far, there is only one person who's
What?
advanced.
What'd you just say? 1,400?
1,000, I got it from Steph Cram like 20 minutes ago. $1,420. And right now, it's all going to Jen and Nistikia for advancing the diamond. So that's amazing. And I'm sure she wants it all, but there's still plenty of that money to go around. And, even if 5 of you were to advance, it's still motivating. Like, it's a lot of money, guys. Like, there's a lot of money on the table besides the fact that you're moving your business forward, the recognition, the leadership, the growth in your team, the growth in your potential challenge groups, things like that. So, that's there to sweeten the deal. And something that I talked about earlier in the week too, when we launched Morning Meltdown, is if you sign 5 coaches in a 5-week period, you also get $100 from corporate. It's called the Fast Start Plus, right? Fast Start Plus bonus. So like you'll see it in your paycheck. So when you sign a coach with a challenge pack, you get the Fast Start bonus instead of like retail commission. But then there's the Fast Start Plus. That's 1 coach a week. Okay, and we're in the middle of a launch, and right now we're in a coach-only window. It's not hard to do, guys. It's not that hard to do. It is not that hard to sign up 1 challenger as a coach every 5 weeks. That's going to put an extra $100 in your pocket, and it's going to get you that much closer to putting yourself in the pot for this $1,400. The next diamond that pops, you guys are looking at $700 a piece. Like, I would love $700 right now. We're going on vacation. I'd be at the outlets, like, yay. I won money. Like, money motivates me. So remember that. Let me see. I just saw Brooke say, can we also talk about how she signed 9 coaches in 1 week? Yes, because she properly leveraged Morning Meltdown 100. Because every single person that she talked to, and I don't even need her on this call, and I don't even need to ask her to know this, every single person that she talked to about Morning Meltdown 100, I can guarantee you she presented them with the coach opportunity. I can guarantee you she showed the value in ordering early. Because guess what? All these people that are waiting, they're going to pay the same amount of money, and they're going to get less value because they're not going to get all these preview workouts and stuff that we're doing now. They're going to be less prepared. You can morning melt at the end of the month and have great experience and great results, but we can't be afraid to hold back when we have it now. Here it is now. The cost is no different. And here's the thing that I always tell people. Here we are. We have people waiting to the end of the month. They're going to sign up with Shakeology. They're going to sign up with Performance. And immediately we're like, okay, and if you need to cancel, you can live chat, blah, 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 blah. There's no difference between that and canceling the coach account. There's no difference at all. There's a form. My forms and documents. You can literally copy paste it, send it right to them. If they're going to cancel, they're going to cancel their Shakeology anyway. You're going to be putting them through a cancellation process. The same way you put people through a cancellation process with Shakeology and Performance, you can put them through a cancellation process with coaching. But here's the thing. Morning Meltdown 100 is 100 workouts, okay? It's not like, oh, let me sign up, let me get the Shakeology, let me do this program for 1 month, and then I'll just cancel it because it'll all be done. They need this for a 100-day period. So when you're talking to people, we want to set that expectation. Like, so, you're looking at 3 months of Shakeology that you're going to need, and you're going to save money every single time you order over the next 3 months if you want to do this program properly and in its entirety. So make sure you're leveraging that because there's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time to work it from this angle. We're still in that coach only order. And that is how I can guarantee you Jenna signed 9 coaches in 1 week. I signed 6. Okay. Because it's what I do. Everyone gets offered it. So, there's that little bit of recognition. And if we're missing any diamonds that haven't been announced in the group, like, please go in there and just blow them up because that is what we are here to do. We're here to advance diamonds. We're here to celebrate them. We're here to recognize them. So Brooke reached out to me a couple weeks ago and was like, Megan, will you come on and talk about Power Hour? And I was like, okay, yeah, absolutely. Because 1, the Power Hour is something that I'm really super passionate about. 2, I do it I do it well. I believe in it. I believe in just like the plain old business activity tracker. I don't believe in overcomplicating this business. I believe an hour a day is enough to have a successful business. So I was like, yeah, this is great. But there were so many different ways for me to share it. There were so many different ways that I could talk about it. At first, I was like, all right, let me just get on. This will be easy. I'll get on. I'll walk everyone through. I'll go into screen share. We'll do a live power hour together. We'll do the action. We'll do the work together. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that because you guys are really trying to find your way in this business right now. And you're really trying to establish yourself as a leader in this business right now. And in order to do that, I really feel like you have to have a connection and you have to have like a rooted like relationship with your power hour. Like it has to feel good and it has to resonate with you and it has to work for you. So if I get on here and I just show you what I do and say, and now you go do that and you too will have success, but you hate it and it doesn't feel right and it doesn't jive with you, then it's not going to work. So, you know, I always say a power hour is like your workout. Okay. So, and we always say like this business is just like the fitness. If you want to get great physical results, what do we know we need to do as challengers? We need to participate in our challenge groups. We need to show up every day. We need to be committed to a program. We need to not skip workouts. We need to eat the nutrition plan. We need to, you know, consume the Shakeology, have the Recover, eat the bars, give our kids the daily sunshine. We need to be that like raving fan, that product of the product. When we do that perfectly, what happens to us? We lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. For me, I have a 6-pack of abs when I do that. Like I have really lean arms and muscle. I feel good. I sleep good. I'm more connected with my challengers. I'm leading by a better example for my challengers. Same thing goes for the business. In order to have a successful business, you have to have a rock solid power hour. And you need to do all the things. And you need to do them every single day, just like a workout. And it kind of reminds me, so like I know Brooke can probably relate to this and some of the other leaders on this team, like coaches will come to me and they'll be like, I don't know what's happening. Like, you know, it's hard for me to hit Success Club. I'm having a hard time finding people, or, you know, I'm just not signing coaches. And I immediately think the same thing that you probably think about challengers when they come to you and they're like, you know, I've been doing everything and I'm just not losing any weight. Like, just back to the game. And what is your first thought? Your first thought, your first judgment is, no, you're not. It's not possible. You had to have missed workouts. You aren't drinking enough water. You're not sleeping enough at night. You had to have missed workouts. I saw you on Instagram drinking wine last week. Like, you immediately start thinking all these things. You hold it back because you don't want to come off as mean. And it's the same thing with power hours and the business. I have people like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, well, like you haven't posted in the team page in a month. Like you've been inconsistent with your posting on Instagram. Like I don't know what program you're on or committed to right now. So, you know, we can start to pick apart those things. And I really think that having a consistent power hour is what's going to take your business from a hobby to an actual side job. Like that's like the biggest thing I want you to wrap your mind around right now. If you aren't doing a consistent power hour, you have a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is an awesome hobby. Like best hobby I ever started out with. If you want to have a business, if you want to grow a team, if you have goals that require quitting jobs, staying home with kids, paying off houses, buying cars, like stability, your power hour has to happen every day. Whether it means you're up till midnight, whether it means you're up at 5 a.m., whether you have to do it when your kids are there. Okay, it just has to happen every day. So here's the thing. You're going to have to find it and do it in a way that works for you. There are coaches that get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. There are coaches that chip away at it throughout the day. There are coaches that do it only at nap time. There are coaches that do it at bedtime. There are coaches that'll make a million excuses as to why they can't do it during any of those times. Has to happen, okay? I'm a huge advocate for you can do all the things, but not all the things at the same time, okay? So I can be a stay-at-home mom. I can put my son and my husband first before work. But I can also find a way to work. Okay, I can do it all. I don't have to neglect to serve this business, and I don't have to neglect this business to serve my family. So you have to find the time, and you have to be committed to the time, and you have to have that conversation with your family and what that's going to look like for you, and get them on board. And you know, maybe they won't be on board right away, but you'll get results, and with results comes better support. Okay, so you know, there's this huge correlation between the power hour, the workout, the results, finding when it's going to work for you. And I'm a real numbers person, and I like to like reverse engineer things and stuff. So here's the thing. A lot of us will power hour Monday through Friday, right? In a perfect world, we power hour Monday through Friday for an hour or more a day. And when we do that, we feel really good. But here's the thing, guys. You look at this business activity tracker, mine's like bound and Staples. Like, this is what I use. I use the BAT, okay? But the BAT has Saturday and Sunday on here. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work on Saturday and Sunday, and maybe you're religious and Sunday's church day or family day or whatever it is, and you're like, that's just crazy. Like, I need a day off. Okay, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. And I typically don't power hour on Saturday and Sunday. But you have to also consider all those missed opportunities and that work, and kind of make up for that work. So really quickly, there's 7 days in a week. All right. So our business activity tracker, which is developed by the Coach Advisory Board, corporate, the top coaches in this industry, and you know, it's designed to be done 7 days a week. So that's 31 days, essentially 30 to 31 days. All right. If you're only doing it Monday through Friday, you have already cut yourself back to 20 days. So if you're talking about doing that over the course of a year, 12 months time, right? If you're doing it the 7 days of the week, you're doing it 372 times, okay? If you're doing it the 20 days out of the week, you're doing it 240 times, which is a difference of 132. So, you know, let's say your goal is to reach out to 10 people or have 10 conversations a day or add 10 new friends a day. That's 1,320 missed opportunities, okay? That adds up. Imagine if you had 1,320 conversations today, okay? You'd probably hit your goal for the month, right? Right? So you got to think about that, because it's one of those things. It's kind of like, sorry, my nose is running really bad. It's one of those things that it's like a workout. Like, you miss it, you miss it, you miss it, you miss it. You're not results to show for. You're just not. It's just not going to happen. So I just felt like that was a really good like visual for you guys. We talked about carving out the time, and now I'm going to go through what is on this business activity tracker, and know this, your power hour can change. So when I first got started, I was insane. Like, I was so hell-bent on quitting my job as a bartender and not working till 5 o'clock in the morning anymore, and being home and being able to send my son to private school. In Delaware, private school is like a thing. It's common, but it's expensive. So, you know, I was so hell-bent on it. I worked a lot. Like a lot. Like, I was getting it in wherever I could fit it in. Now I work more regimented, and it looked a little different in between all that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go through each item on this and talk about all kinds of different ways that you can do it, so that you can say to yourself, like, okay, I would never do that, but I would do that. I could never try that, but I will try this. I've done it a lot of different ways, and know that you might have to fail through it until you find what feels good. Because once you find a workflow that feels good, just like our workouts, okay? Like, you won't catch me dead doing size. Don't expect me to get results with my body and show up and stay committed to a workout like size. It ain't gonna happen. Same thing with a power hour. If you get on a one-on-one call with me and I'm like, well, I want you to do this, 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 and this, and you're like, I don't want to do that, you're not going to be consistent with it. But maybe you're like me and you could do Insanity Max 30 every day for the rest of your life, because that just resonates with you. It just works for you. It feels good to you. Same thing with your power hour. You got to find a power hour and a workflow that feels good to you, so that you want to show up every day and do it. It can't be a have to. It has to be a want to. So, number one, be proof the products work. We have pretty much talked about this. We are nothing without our own personal transformation. We are nothing without 100% belief in our products and programs. Okay? You're a fraudster, like without it. All right? Put yourself behind it. You aren't here to make money. You're here to transform people's lives. And it starts with you. Okay? The best way to lead is always going to be by example. If you're not doing MM100, you better have something committed. You better have a calendar printed. You better have meal plans printed. You better have something that you're talking about. Okay? So there's that. I'm not going to get too into that right now. This is a push to diamond call. I don't feel like I should have to like elaborate on that. So next, initiate connections and add followers. A lot of people don't like to do this. It's not that hard. There's so many different ways. So when I first got started, I would literally go into the people you may know tab and be like, add, and just add away. Men, women, like it didn't matter. Old people, young people. I was like, I can help anyone and everyone, and I don't care. I don't really feel that that necessarily served me well. I think I kind of made a mess out of my social media in the beginning. Now I'm much more selective of it. I don't go into the people you may know tab that way unless I'm coming up dry in other areas where I can usually find people. So with Facebook, I'll go in. I like to think about my social bubbles. I go to pages and groups and things that I'm a part of socially that resonate with me. Book clubs, I love to read. My son's school, sports that my son plays, my neighborhood residents page, things like that. So make a list of your social bubbles. Think about the groups that you're in, the community that you're involved in, the hobbies that you have outside of fitness. Connect with like-minded people. You can do the same on Instagram through hashtags, lives, again, accounts that you like, accounts that you follow. You know, just for example, and this is a really general example, but it's just off the top of my head, like Fabletics, Lindsay and I teach there. I wear all their clothes, like all that stuff. Or, you know, the Reese Witherspoon book club. I read all of her books. I love to read. It's something that sets me apart from fitness. You know, my son's school page, other Catholic schools in the area, things like that. You just hit the add. All right. And for some people, it feels creepy, but it has to get done because you start Facebook in a warm market, it dries up. It will dry up. Trust me. I used to like shoot fish in a barrel when I first got started. It was very easy for me. I had a great transformation. 21 Day Fix was hot. I signed up as a coach with the very first round of 21 Day Fix ever. Everyone wanted it. No one had heard about it. And all like a screeching halt. And my coach Andrew's like, you need to start adding new people. Like I started with 700 Facebook friends. That was all I had to work with. Came to a screeching halt. And the only reason I even had 700 Facebook friends was because I was a bartender at a really high volume bar, like think like a beach bar, like a resort type like venue. And I was popular because I worked there for 15 years, but they were all like drunk people. They weren't anyone that was going to do these workouts. So, you know, my media really needed some tailoring. I needed to find moms of, at the time, 6-month-olds. Then I needed to move in and find moms of toddlers. Then I needed to find like moms who were starting their kids in elementary school. And it's always good to kind of position yourself like just one little step ahead of people. So my son's 5. When I can connect with a mom who has like a 3 or a 4-year-old and I can be of like value to her, that's good stuff, you know? Or if I can connect with someone who has weight to lose but hasn't lost it yet, or, you know, whatever it is. So you have to be adding. On Instagram, there's tons of apps, Captivate, Cleaner. There's another like service you can pay where you can like make a little profile for yourself where you're like, I'm into this, and this, and they'll like go find you people. I don't care what it looks like. It takes maybe all of 3 minutes to do it, but it has to happen. Okay. Not everyone's going to follow you back. It's fine. Who cares? You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again and I'll say it over and over again. You don't work this business for the people that don't want it. Like you work this business to go find the people who do. All right. So there's that. That's a priority 1. And then do a social media post that showcases benefits of your healthy lifestyle or has a call to action. So I always like to attack and my posting's been bad lately. And, you know, I'm home with my son. It's summertime. I have a successful business. I will be honest, I have not been as consistent as I have in the past. So if you go to my media, you might not quite see this. But what has always worked for me in the past, and what I will always return home to when I need to make sure I'm hitting Success Club, when I need to make sure I'm signing coaches, if I start to feel a lull coming, what always works for me is like the jab, jab, hook. So like 2 jab posts about the challenge group, 1 with a call to action, the hook. Then again with the coach opportunity, jab, jab, call to action. So like softer posts and then a call to action. I feel like 1 a day is sufficient. I don't know what the new Facebook rules are, and Hadley talked about this last week. Don't overthink it, all right? There's jails, there's this, there's that, there's algorithms. They change every day. Nobody understands them. We all try and understand them. We all pay to try and understand them. And I don't see any of us getting significantly more ahead than if we were just to sit back and be our authentic self with the right audience. So, I feel like 1 a day is fine. You can switch them up between Instagram and Facebook. You can put them in the same place. Go in the stories. I mean, whatever. What's important is that you're consistent, because people are watching and they want to see consistency. So 1 a day. If you struggle with this, do it ahead of time. Okay? Have them written out in your phone. I find for me a big time saver is to just have my pictures ready. And I use a preset filter. So like I'll go into the Lightroom app and I have like a file that's like, let me see, I'm bringing it up right now. Like I have all these pictures like already edited and kind of ready to go. I feel like for me, where I end up wasting the most time isn't in my wording. It's in like the finding of my picture, the editing of my picture, the filtering of my picture. And next thing you know, I'm like digging in my phone and then I'm looking at pictures of Luca. I'm watching videos from when he's like 1 year old. I'm not doing any work anymore. I'm like looking at pictures from 2014. So I have Beachbody, books, family, fitness, food, and team are these albums. And there's just always like edited pictures in here, like ready to go. Like as I take them, as I like them, I can save them. A lot of times I think we feel like we have to take the picture, do the editing, do the post it, like all at one time. You don't necessarily have to do that. I do recommend, and I know Melanie Mitchell teaches this, to sit down on Sunday and just think about like what's up and coming and think about what you want to be sharing for the week. And, you don't have to sit back and wait for like an upline or somebody to do a coach opportunity. You don't have to do it. Or you can have like a video that you do, that you like pre-record, that like sits on YouTube, that you can share with people. Like, what is a coach? Like, you don't have to wait for like a coach group to talk about coaching. So, it's that jab, jab, hook with the call to action. Then make sure you're updating your IG story throughout the day. 3 minutes per post. That seems kind of long to me. But I mean, keep it simple. People are always like, I don't know what to put in my stories. They tell you right here what to put in your stories. Daily life, workout clip, product use. You don't have to use the brand or anything. Like it can just be like driving with your chocolate shake and people can be like, I see her drinking this literally every day. She looks amazing. I should just drink it. And that's kind of what happens with me. Like people come to me and they aren't like, I have questions about this. Can you send me information about this? Can you research this? They literally will message me and be like, I've been watching you forever. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Because I'm consistent. I have the results. I show up every day. The trust and the belief is there. Like they're just like, okay, whatever Megan's saying he's doing, just here's my credit card. Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Is the experience I have. So, healthy meals, meal prep, like July, like the theme of my challenge group right now is like July survival. So it's like packing coolers, eating out, low calorie drinks, things like that, Shakeology on the go, beach bars, snacks for the kids, meal prep, prepping all like the fresh fruit and the vegetables and everything. Like summer is a hard time for people because there's a lot of social events, but there's so much awesome fresh food. It's really easy to actually eat healthy with a grill. I mean, like grilled chicken, shrimp, like there's so much stuff you can put on a grill. Like you can have like a beautiful party at your house in the summertime with like healthy foods, like tomato mozzarella salads, pasta salads, use whole wheat pasta or rice pasta or whatever it is. But, it's so easy to demonstrate this. You can do the same thing on your Insta stories. I kind of do the same thing, like the jab, jab, jab hook. I'll do like stories that are like hard call to actions. I'll do stories that like jab away at what we have up and coming. And then recognize people, recognize challengers, recognize coaches, recognize friends, recognize other leaders in the business, just recognize people who inspire you, maybe even from outside the business. People love to be recognized. It feels good to recognize someone. And it's positive. People scroll Facebook and like I see some crazy ass shit on Facebook sometimes. I'm like, did this person really just post this? And I like scroll on. And then you like hit something that's like heartwarming where you're like celebrating someone who is like significantly overweight, losing like 50 pounds. Like those posts get attention. They tug at people's heartstrings. They are like scroll stopping type things. So share all that. Next, respond to all new likes, comments, or views. I'm going to kind of lump these together. Respond to all new likes, comments, or views. Invite at least 5 people to join a challenge group or coach opportunity, and follow up with the people you've invited. Okay. For me, I've done it all. We had old business activity trackers that were like, invite, 5 people to a challenge group, invite 5 people to the coach opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Respond to all new likes, comments, or views never used to be on there. That was something that we kind of started doing. And I think as a company, they were like, everyone's doing this. It works. Let's put it on. So responding to all new likes, comments, or views helps with your Facebook affinity for sure. That's an algorithm I do know. Facebook wants to see you have a relationship with people. So they're going to insert your stuff into the feed of people that you communicate with. Like you don't see like your old ex-boyfriend's cousin that you knew in high school because you don't go look at their page and they don't go look at yours. So they aren't populating into your feed. If you want to keep these people who are watching you want to stay in their feed, you have to be engaging with them. So, and another thing, and I think Brandy Botts gave this tip a while ago, was when you do like a good call to action post or a post that you think people are going to start commenting underneath it, stay on and make sure you're commenting right back underneath. They're looking for that comment right back on. So if you're going to do like a fantastic call to action post, keep checking back on that for like 5 minutes or so. You don't necessarily have to get them sold right away. I will very easily say to people in those messages, I'll be like, oh my God, sounds awesome. Just sat down to watch Stranger Things with Jace. I'll message you in the morning. Like, boom, done. Like, you don't have to necessarily go down that rabbit hole with people, but they want to see the like, they want to see the, oh my God, yay, I'll message you tomorrow or whatever. They want to see all that happening. And the more conversations you have happening underneath, the more likes you end up getting. And it just keeps on going. Like, it just keep it in the newsfeed. So there's that. Inviting at least 5 people to join. Sometimes I use those people who like and comment on my posts to be the people that I'm going to invite to join, and then following up. So what I do is, a while back, I used to just do my 5 to 10 a day. I would like go in, I would go back to like old posts, I would look for people. I've used Teamsy. That was super helpful. That was something that really helped me create the habit. Teamsy is like a CRM, I don't even know what that stands for, but it basically helps you like monitor your customers that you're talking to. So it uploads your Facebook in, you can go ahead and like it'll populate them for you to message, and you can like save what you said and blah blah blah. They have a 30-day like free trial. It's awesome. Who is that?
No, you don't need it.
Do you have a mute on here? Okay, sorry. So you can use something like Teamsy to track that. You can literally go through the alphabet of your Facebook list and start with the A's and do like your 10 right then and there. Like you can do like 5 for a challenge group, 5 for coaching. So what I do is I have the goal to talk to 10 people a day, right? And there's 7 days in a week. So that's 70 people. This is what I do now. I used to break it down and do it every single day. So I have the goal to talk to 70 people a week, but I like to 10x things. So my personal goal for my business is to connect with and message about fitness, whether it's a cold invite to a challenge group or if it's just to elaborate on a post or something that they liked on. I get the conversation started about fitness and health with 100 people a week. I use now an assistant to do it, because the actual work of sending them, like to actually sit there and be like, hey, I saw you liked my post about MM100. It's a great program, blah, blah, blah. And like keep copying and pasting that over. It's not something that needs my personal touch. To send 100 of them off at one time, which is what I do, is time consuming. And I don't need to do it. I can afford to pay the $10 to like outsource that. So what I do is once a week, I go back through all my posts from the week before, and I start writing down names, and I start making a list. And if I can get to 100 people, great. If not, I will like then head over to Instagram and start looking for people there. I'll go into my stories and start looking for people there. It's not that hard for me to do. Or I'll think about people that I have actually seen in person, which nobody does enough of this. People that I've actually seen in person at the pool, at my insanity classes, out with my son, at the YMCA, people who I found out are military because my husband was military and there's military benefits. Like I'll actually like use my brain to think about real people who I have real conversations with, and I'll put them on the list. And I just keep brainstorming until I come up with 100 people. Then I take those 100 people and I go and I do this work on my own. I go look at their page and I either like and comment or whatever on like some of their posts. I make sure that like I actually would want to work with them, because you're going to have to work with these people. Like this work should be enjoyable. Like sometimes I go to people's page and I'm like, yeah, we're just going to cross this name off. Like I'm like, pass, and I move on. So typically I can come up with a list of 70 to 100 people. I send that to my assistant with a script. And I'm like, send this on Facebook, send this on Instagram. She literally messages me back like 40 minutes later and she's like, done. And I owe her like $10. If I did it, I'm all up in, my text messages are going off, my emails are going off. I'm just like super distracted. So so this is kind of the point I'm trying to make. As you're going through this stuff, if any of this just sits icky with you, like don't be afraid to outsource it. Like don't be afraid to get someone else to do it for you, or to go use an app to add your followers, or to do Teamsy to organize who you should be inviting to, and maybe get over that fear of cold inviting or whatever it is. Like try different things, try different ways, try different approaches. I've done it all. I've done it myself. I've done it with Teamsy. I've done it with Google Streak. I've done it with an assistant. I've done it with the assistant since January, and I've hit Success Club every single month this year. Okay, I've done 100 invites a week this whole year, and I've hit this whole year. All right. And one of the reasons I like doing that, because I feel like when I can start the week with those 100 invites out, and maybe you don't need to use the assistant to do it. Maybe you just do the 40 minutes of work on a Sunday and you just send out all the messages, and then you just wash your hands of it and you get it over with. How amazing would that feel? To know that on Sunday night or first thing Monday morning, you already sent enough messages. And then all you have to do is all the other stuff, the more fun stuff. The posting, the sharing, the plugging into your challenge groups, the adding new people, which is super easy. So I like to do it on Sunday or Monday. I like to just get it all done and out of the way, because I then can take the rest of the week to just have good conversations with people. Then I can just spend the rest of my week like in my inbox, fielding the messages, giving people the longer responses, getting to know people, hopping on the phone with people if I need to, voice messaging them if I need to, whatever it is. They just will get a better time from me, because one huge block of what's important is done for the week. Like it's just done. So that's kind of how I attack that. Contribute to your challenge group. I recently just bought the package of posts that Lauren Mayuski posted, that lovely Liz. I bought the July Summer Survival Guide. It came with the scripts. It came with the images. I scheduled it out for the whole month of July. All I have to do with that is do my workout and post my picture. And then at the end of the night, I will typically like scroll on the couch and kind of go in and like comment and like on everybody's posts. Boom, done. Like that's so easy. And then just recognize achievement, plug into those team pages every day and give people a shout out for anything. Literally anything, for going active, for having 50 PV, for ordering a refresh when they swore they would never do a cleanse. Like, go in and recognize people for anything, for 2 success clip points when they haven't been on the board in 3 months. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It just feels good to be recognized. Every day we have an opportunity to make someone feel good. And in our team pages and in our challenge groups especially, it's super important that we show up every day and do that. And it breeds more recognition because it reminds people of someone else who's doing amazing things who inspires them, and it typically starts to kind of like snowball. Now, another huge thing that people don't do enough is personal development. That, or my biggest pet peeve, they just read or do what everyone else is doing. Like, I know Rachel Hollis is coming to Summit, and I love her. I don't love her book, but I love her Netflix documentary, and I like her podcast, and I like her Instagram lives. But like, I almost want to puke every time I see someone post that they're reading Girl Wash Their Face. Because I'm like, everybody is reading that. There's no way that every single one of us needs that in their life right now. So I think when it comes to personal development, it's really important that you take that deep dive into yourself, and this is hard to do, and identify an area where you suck. Okay? Because we all have an area where you totally suck and you can improve. And maybe it has nothing to do with being a girl boss or any of that shit. Maybe it has to do with like marriage. Maybe it has to do with like parenting. Because a lot of times, and what I find with personal development, we enter into this business looking for something. Like, the majority of us are here because emotionally something's missing. And we think that this is going to fix it. And this community will fix it. But the workouts will help and blah, blah, blah. But like, just coming into this and doing what everyone else is doing isn't going to fix it. A lot of times I find what's holding people back is the stuff and the shit that's going on at home and all around it, making it hard for you to focus on this in the right way. So maybe you suck at organization. Maybe you're having a hard time with your parenting, you're having a lot of mom guilt, or, whatever it is, or you're on your phone too much, or, maybe you're having trouble like getting good communication with your spouse. Maybe you need the 5 love languages. Maybe you sit down to read books and you're like a chronic person who just never finishes a book. Okay, maybe you don't read your personal development. Like, maybe you need to start podcasting. Maybe you don't do it for a chapter every day. Maybe you listen to it when you're driving in the car. Maybe you do the national wake up call every single Monday and that's it for the day, or whatever it is. But, I always say to people, find an area that you suck personally and find an area that you suck professionally, and then go find a resource that will help you make those better. And that will elevate you, okay? And one of the things I love a lot about personal development is it really helps me drive the content of my posts. Because as you're reading something, if you're reading something really appropriate for where you're struggling, you've identified a pain point within yourself. You can then find a way, when you get that like aha moment when you're going through that personal development, where you're like, damn, like highlighter, and you're like highlighting it, even though you're never going to go back and read it. So like, why are you highlighting it? I don't know. But like, when you sit there and you're like, damn, this is great. Like, I'm going to highlight this page, rip it out, tape it to my mirror. That's the stuff you need to share. Because if you go back to where you're adding and you're initiating connections and stuff like that, you should be connecting with like-minded people. So those aha moments that you're experiencing in your personal development should be resonating with those same people if you're doing this right. And those are things that you can turn into quotes. Those are things that you can share on Instagram if you're doing that cool, like every third picture makes like a diamond line design, black and white, or whatever it is. But it's stuff that you can go live and talk about. It's stuff that you can share that makes you vulnerable. And I think it was Hadley who was talking about it last week. You can make yourself vulnerable through your personal development, but not like embarrass yourself. Things like that. Personal development is great to incorporate into a challenge group. So for those of you who have MM100 coming, we are talking about these 20 to 30 minute workouts, but I know me personally, something I have to wrap my mind around is getting this workout done first thing in the morning. I'm not a first thing in the morning worker outer. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I suck at this. Like I do. I'm not a 5 a.m. worker outer. I like to eat first. I like to have coffee. I like to read. I like to power hour. Like this is going to jam me up. I'm going to need some help with this. So I think within my challenge group, we will likely be reading Miracle Morning, the 5 a.m. Club, something like that. One last thing I want to talk about, and then we can do questions. I do this all off the business activity tracker, okay? And the only difference between me and you is that I've been doing this more consistently for 5 years. That's the only difference. That's the only difference between you and a full-time income. Consistency over time. Another thing is maybe you've used this sheet and it does not resonate with you. Like we're talking about like finding a power hour that works for you. There's a gazillion trackers out there. You could probably Google like beach body power hour trackers and stuff will come up. Pinterest, all kinds of stuff like that. I also have this Desire Map Planner that I really like where you literally, I can kind of like show you the cover. You literally map out like every hour of your day. So like if you're that big of a disaster with your schedule and like getting it all in, you can literally map out your top 3 priorities that you're supposed to do a day. Then you can go over and you can literally schedule them into your day. You can be like, I have to respond to my messages today. That was me today. Then you can be like, I'm going to do that at 10 o'clock. Like it literally helps you build like your daily to-do list. There's a body and wellness section. There's a devotion section. There's a section for you to identify what's not working for you that you've been doing, and a section for you to say that you need to stop doing things. And then there's gratitudes. And then there's an area for you to jot down like, what are you going to do today to help you feel the way you want to feel? And so a lot of times for me, it's that I just want to feel accomplished. And in order for me in my day to feel accomplished, I have to do my power hour. Because if I go to bed without it, it feels worse to me than if I go to bed without a workout. Like it just doesn't make me feel good to not get it done. So that's kind of where I want to get to with you guys. I want you to feel so connected to something that you feel like crap when it doesn't get done. I want your power hour to help you feel grounded. There's going to be things that help make you feel grounded in life. For me, it's downtime, alone time, a full night's sleep, being with my family, reading, working out, and a solid power hour. If I do all those things in a given day, I feel good. It makes me feel good. If I don't do all those things in a given day, I feel anxious. I feel scatterbrained. I feel frustrated. I have short temper with my family. It's not good. So your power hour should be done in a way that helps you feel grounded and helps you feel good. It should be a get to, not a have to, if that makes sense. So that's all I have. I don't know if Brooke or anybody wants to add. I can look into the chat and kind of go back.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can do questions after that. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, hold on. It's not stopping.